Sometimes you got to ask yourself, how serious are you about success? Because if you're not willing to isolate, then you're not ready to elevate. A lot of us hear the term monk mode on YouTube all the time. I've seen a whole bunch of videos about people saying that they're going into monk mode, and I myself went into monk mode at one point in my life. It was around the time when I was around like 21, 22 years old, and I didn't watch a YouTube video to motivate me into going to monk mode. I didn't even know what monk mode was. All I knew is I was tired of living the same type of life, and I was ready for change. I was ready to elevate. I was ready to start putting the goals that are in my head, and the goals that I talk about with all of my friends and people around me into action and into motion and make them happen for myself. And I feel like whether you intentionally go into monk mode or if you just have that wake up call one day and you really start taking action, if you stay consistent with everything that comes with that, you're going to see everything change. Look at monk mode as a millionaire boot camp. You're not dating, you're developing, you're not partying, you're planting seeds, you're working on your business, you're locking in on yourself, you're not doing things that don't serve you purpose, you're not spending money that doesn't make you money. A lot of y'all have y'all priorities wrong, and I'm telling y'all that is the quickest way to not reach your goals. That is the quickest way to get further away from your goals. You guys have to understand that a lot of this stuff that I'm saying is common sense, but sometimes you have to take that step out your body and look at yourself and say, is he really talking to me though? Like, is this really about me? Yes, I know this. Yes, this is relevant, but is he talking to me? Does this apply to me? And if it feels offensive, or if it's like, if the shoe fits, where is it? Make that change. My goal of my channel is never to, like I said, put myself on no type of pedestal. I want to bring everybody up as a whole. I want to grow the community and just change the generation. Like, I'm so tired of all the popping it and the not being organic and the transactional people that's around here. And I understand it, y'all. It's business. Business is business. I'm an entrepreneur as well. I run 3 very, very successful businesses. So I believe me when I say I know how business works, but I also know how community works, how unity works, how growth works, and how empowering a group of people and planting seeds in the kingdom of God can really change a whole lot of lives. I don't care if it takes me an hour out of my day when I could be working on this business, or, right now it's a Friday night. I could be going out with my friends. I could be going out with my girl. I could be doing whatever, and I'm taking the time to sit down and make this video. Not for any reason other than to have impact, to leave something behind, because think about it. At the end of the day, do you want to just have an Instagram full of highlight reels and popping it? That's how you want to be remembered? Or do you want to have a platform that shakes a whole generation of people in some type of way? Maybe it's not in the type of way that I make videos. Maybe you want to be the best, most educational fitness trainer and you get a lot of people in shape. Maybe you want to be one of the top tier real estate educators and investors. Maybe you want to be one of the top 10 vloggers or streamers, but just know that the sooner that you start to put your priorities in place, you start to go in monk mode, you start to say no, you start to stay in the house and create instead of consume, that's when you're going to really see your life change. And make sure when you're consuming things, there are things that are going to benefit you. Make sure if you're watching content that's going to help you grow, not content that's going to keep you entertained and keep you stuck and keep you subtle and keep you in the same position. A lot of y'all get that false dopamine. I say that all the time, and I'm not telling you throw your phone away, get off social media, but if your goal is to be a creator, go create. Stop watching so many videos. Get off this video. I don't even care. Don't even like it. Get off the video and just go create your own stuff. Really take the steps that you need to take your life to the next level, because nobody's going to do that but you. Now, I know when a lot of people hear monk mode, they think no fun, their life's over, no phones. For some of y'all, that is the case. And I would say if you're worried about that, that's probably something you should consider giving up, because that shows that you have some sort of addiction to that. But monk mode isn't even exactly just that. If that's a problem for you and that's something that's distracting you from reaching your goals, and that's something that needs to be, done in moderation or cut off altogether with. But if that's not an issue for you and you know how to manage your time and maybe something else is an issue, monk mode is really your time that you set aside in your life to just lock in. You don't let anyone or anything mess up your plans. You make sure that everything that you're doing in life is aligning spirit, your business, your mentality, your physical and well-being. Everything is aligning with the way that God wants you to live in your God-given purpose. And I know that the sooner that you guys find your purpose, a lot of these videos are going to start making a lot more sense. A lot of it is going to start clicking. And I don't make these videos to put myself on a pedestal or make anybody feel like I know so much more than them. But I just know that my whole life I've always asked a lot of questions. I've always been big on asking questions. So I feel like every single thing in life, I make sure I understand it to the fullest. That's just something that I do. That's just something that I've always done my whole life. And because of that, I'm a really good teacher and I'm really good at explaining things. I'm really good at taking things that people may know but not think of or not realize, and bringing them to their attention so that way they can make something beautiful with it. And that's something that I've been blessed with. It's a talent. Sometimes it's a blessing or a curse. It really just depends. But because of that, that's why I made this platform, because I want you guys to think of the things in life that either you may not know about because you don't have exposure to them, or maybe you know about them but you're just not doing them, and this is your video, this is your sign. Like, don't look at this as, oh, this is another Monk Mode video where this dude's talking about how locked in he got to get on this big level he's on. No, this is your sign to understand that whether you know about Monk Mode or not, once you click on this video, now you know what it is, now you know what comes with it, and this is your sign to start it if that's something you feel like you need to move forward in life. See, a lot of people will sit here and complain about the position that they're in, or the things that they're lacking, or what they do and don't have, or what they do and don't have to deal with. But understand that a lot of these things are in your control, and anything that's not in your control, you need to give it to God and let go. You guys spend too much time stressing and worrying about things that you can't control in life, and that's why it makes it hard for you to focus, and that's why it makes it hard for you to go into a monk mode. Every successful person had a season where they had to go through monk mode. That was their season of saying no. Everybody want to get you to pop out and do this and do that. It's crazy. It feels like, when you're just living life normally, things happen at a certain pace. People only invite you out so often, or people only want certain things from you so often. And as soon as you'll see that once you go into monk mode, and once you lock in, and once you start aligning your life and your spirit with God, you're going to start seeing a lot of these things, these temptations coming to your life a lot more frequently. And that's when you have to, that's when your faith is really going to get tested, and your morals and the type of person that you are is really going to get tested, and you're going to see, if you're really meant to take it to the next level. See, that's what monk mode is going to do to you. When you go into monk mode, if you party and stuff like that, and you think people are inviting you out to party a lot now, wait till you go into monk mode. It's going to be 20 times harder. There's going to be 20 times more people trying to invite you out, and it's just going to continue to grow, and that's the enemy. The sooner you can say no, is the sooner you'll watch your whole life elevate. And it doesn't matter who you say no to. Sometimes it has to be your best friend. Sometimes it has to be your girlfriend. Sometimes it has to be your boyfriend. Sometimes it has to be your mother. Sometimes it has to be your father. Sometimes it has to be your sibling. It does not matter. If the thing that someone's asking you to do is slowing you down, if it's not going towards your purpose, if it's inconveniencing to you in the season of being in monk mode, the answer is no. And it doesn't matter. If people don't understand that and don't respect that, then they don't respect you, because that is your season of elevation. So it's very important that when you go into that season, you're either ready to tell everyone no and just kind of isolate yourself and lock in, or you either build that communication and have that conversation with everyone around you that's close, and let them know what you're doing and what your goals are. And it's very important that if you go that route, you make sure you have no one in your circle that has ill intentions or that's manifesting anything negative on you, because they're going to do things to sabotage your journey on that. So yeah, it's very important that you figure out in your life, what steps you need to take to get into this monk mode. But I'm telling y'all, regardless of what your goals is, it doesn't matter if you want to be the best cook in the world. It doesn't matter if you want to be the best athlete in the world. It doesn't matter if you want to be the richest entrepreneur in the world. It does not matter what you want to do in life. Just know that once you take those steps of isolation, sometimes that's going to bring you to elevation. Oftentimes it's going to bring you to elevation. A lot of these successful people that y'all look up to, I don't even have to name drop, who your idols or inspirations are. They didn't get there by scrolling on TikTok. They didn't get there by playing games on their phone or sleeping in or saying they're going to fix something but not fixing it, or doing the same things that they were doing before they got in the position that they're in. I promise you, nobody did that. If somebody says that they're doing that, they're cap. Everybody had to make changes. It takes a lot of change, and that's the hardest part. Being successful, or whatever your goal is, being successful in whatever your field is or whatever your goal is not hard. It's making the changes to become successful that is hard, and that's where a lot of people get hung up on. Is very much you versus you. And we can all make excuses for why we can't lock in, why we can't go into monk mode, what don't we have, what do we have, what do we have to deal with. Like, everyone has excuses. Some people have kids, some people have jobs, some people got 2 jobs, some people got 3 jobs, some people got 5 businesses, some people broke, some people homeless. Like, everybody has something that they're dealing with, and everybody has a struggle. But just because you have a struggle and your struggle might be more extreme in one direction doesn't mean that your struggle and what you have to juggle is going to be any different than everyone else around. It might be more extreme in some cases. You might be more disadvantaged in some cases, but you're blessed. You have something in life that someone else wishes they had. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're at rock bottom and you're in the worst position in life. Somebody wishes they were where you are right now. Even if you feel like, oh, I'm the most broke, I'm the most messed up right now, you're still walking, you got 2 legs, your heart's still beating, you still breathing, all of that. Like, show gratitude, y'all, because you have to understand that everyone has it different. And also, when you show gratitude, it's going to start making you stop complaining as much and stop making excuses for yourself of why you can't do it. I'm not saying you got to lock yourself in a room, but if that's what helps you, do it. I'm not saying you got to delete your social media, but if that's what helps you, do it. I'm not saying you got to put timers on your social media. Y'all can do that in the settings on your iPhone, but if that's what helps you, do it. You guys have to understand that some of the things that you feel like are so hard to do are so hard for a reason, because you're addicted. You're addicted to scrolling. Y'all are addicted to so many different things other than doing the things that you need to do to become successful. Become addicted to that.